In all these repressions and imprisonments, we draw attention to a phrase. You should also pay attention to this. Some of the well-known social figures are arrested, and some of those who defend them make such statements. I know this man well, I am aware of his activities, and I can say with confidence that he is a man who is very attached to his people, to his state, to his country. Until now, he has been serving his people in this direction. These are words that can only benefit the state. These are probably the expressions, sentences, and words. For example, many of you have probably read these words about the 50-year-old soldier Mehmetli, who was imprisoned in these days, about Gubadi Badoglu. It seems to people that these words touch the conscience of those who imprison them, have a positive effect on their decisions, and they can evaluate and change the chosen decision in this direction. It is a simple approach. We all know his intention. In fact, those who try to build a defense tower for these people with these words also know. But in a simple way, they calculate that it may have had an effect. It may not have an effect, but it may have a negative effect. The reason is very simple. The reason is the difference of ideas about the state. Our ideas about the state and the nation are different. They also think differently about these categories. Those who imprison the sons and daughters of Azerbaijan, their ideas about the state are not in the eyes of those who rule the state, but in their behavior. They are very clearly justified. When they say the state, they look at the benefits of the family. When they say the state, they look at the offshore accounts. For them, the state is a basis that creates the institutional guarantee of gaining a state through prosperity. When they say the state body, they look at the institutional structures that create a fertile ground for the prosperity of this mass economy to continue for a long time. What do we look at when we say the state? We look at the classical definition of the state. The state is a special institution that has certain structures as a political unity, is characterized by a certain organization of political sovereignty, and ensures that social processes are organized in a certain area. We think that the state is a special institution that forms the core of the political system of the society. There are various philosophical and legal approaches to explaining the existence of the state, but these are not important in the current context. When we say the state, we mean that its source is the people. Specifically, it is the dominant force in our society, the political entity. We approach it like this, but they don't approach it like this and don't think like this. They also think that in the territory of Azerbaijan, the state has no authority over society and people. They even think that the Azerbaijani society has authority over the state, and the entity called the state is not accountable to society as a mechanism that governs it through political sovereignty. Because the state determines the identity of this people, and this people does not know the nature, shape, style, and form of the state. Do you see the difference? In modern political science theories and practices, the state's basic signs are differentiated. Do you know what is the most important basic principle among these signs? This is law. In other words, the state acts within the framework of the laws and norms it determines. If there is no law, all other signs of the state are zeroed out, become illegal, and the understanding of the state disintegrates in accordance with all typical, classic, and modern theories. They are calculated in such a way that there is no law during the basic signs of the state, or the law is there to protect the dominant force of political sovereignty. In the defense of our imprisoned friends, when you say that they are very valuable people for the state, you have aggravated the political sovereignty to some extent. But they know very well which state you are looking at, and the understanding of the state you are looking at means depriving these figures of the right to represent the state. I wanted you to be aware of the existence of such seriousness, dear viewers.